I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. The heart chakra is the center of our toroidal fields. As we talked about in a recent video, the toroidal field is the shape of creation that emerges from the center 0 point. When we talk about our energy bodies, our heart chakra is this 0 point from which everything originates. The true nature of the heart is love, but a better word for it would be neutrality. When we are in dualism, attached to outcomes as positive or negative, with judgment, we are not living in neutrality. Through the heart's activation, we know that everything is in perfect harmony. This is what we mean when we say, love above will. This is neutrality, being in the stillness of your being, non-reactivity. Our heart is our center, our essence, our spiritual core. When the heart is fully opened, we remember our divinity and allow the love of creation to flow through us. We remember that we are a fragment of the all, and this recognition of the self also helps us to recognize the divinity in everyone and everything. Despite what many spiritualists have thought, activating chakras is not about specifically focusing on colors or sounds. These are absolutely tools, but the true activation of chakras corresponds to the collective activation of new realms that we ascend into. After all, this realm has chakras just as we do. There is no separation. We are microcosms of the macrocosm, and whichever chakra we are in, this is the realm that we experience. We've been in the lower realms, stuck in the lower chakras, but now, upon realizing that the aurora borealis is not just a pretty atmospheric light, but is the placeholder of our heart energy expressed externally, we are ascending up and up into the paradise realm of Hyperborea. Our blood over intent is the activator of this, because as I will keep saying, the 0 point of our hearts is materialized into blood, and we are going back to the 0 point in order to break down this cosmic toroidal field, thereby dissolving this illusion that the children of the black sun have been in. Amidst this transformation, we each need to accept and understand our dualistic natures in order to reach a place of non-duality and transformation. Meaning, yes, living in the heart is not about repression, it's about letting everything within you come to the surface so it can be released. It is in our heart chakra where we learn to embrace and love our vulnerabilities, darkness, limitations, hurt, and pain, so we can transcend the smallness of staying just within our egos. Through the heart, we grow towards something greater and more expansive, and we now know what this is. This is what the Tibetans called Shambhala, the Vedic paradise of Aryavarsha, the Christian Garden of Eden. The so-called return of Christ is an allegory. It is not a literal story. It's referring to this activation that is happening right now to all blood brothers and sisters. When each living soul has connected with the Emerald Goddess, and it will happen to all of us, we shall dissolve into the heart space, and therefore, heaven shall be on earth, just like our written intentions have sealed. Christ is the consciousness within. Like Christ, we had to be crucified. We had to suffer immensely in order to be resurrected. This is the tough love the Mother Goddess Sophia has given us, and we are eternally grateful. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods, worship to all living souls. Let's talk about archons, demons, malevolent thought forms. Now, a demon or an archon, sometimes called jinn, these are thought forms which parasite off of themselves. So essentially, archonic thought forms create a loop, meaning it is created, it feeds off of itself, and then it becomes a loop of fear, of what we would call negativity. Now, this whole time, a lot of us thought archons or demons were external deities, external forms of energy which came into our minds, which plagued us. And these were things that we had to battle. However, it is now more apparent than ever that all is consciousness, and so any demons, any malevolent thought forms you have ever interacted with have arisen from yourself. This archonic loop of distress can only be stopped, can only be halted by activating the green rays of our hearts. And this is why I am all about the heart. I am all about living centered and without accusation, without contempt, without fear. Because these things become materialized thought forms which end up plaguing yourself and those you interact with. And this is why we have the term see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. Because whenever we evoke what we call evil, it materializes. However, because it parasites, this means it is an illusion. Anything that is not standing in its own wholeness, in its trueness of divine harmony, this means that it is ultimately an illusion. So this is why love always is more powerful than fear. And if we look at the electromagnetic signature of love versus fear, we can see the innate differences. And that's why we have phrases like love conquers all, because this is absolutely the force which neutralizes any archonic activity in its path. Nothing is a match for love. So all my blood brothers and sisters, please stay centered. There's a lot going on right now, both in me and you, in the collective. This is all natural, but we must resolve these issues. We must. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. I love you all. As we talked about in my videos on the projection system, and based on the very macro and microcosmic nature of toroidal fields, we are the living souls who never even left the center. We've been experiencing a temporary construct in order to ascend back to a unified consciousness. We've been funneling through time into what seems like these outer lands in order to gain the eyes to see, metaphorically losing our Odin's eye in order to gain the wisdom of the ages. We are remembering backwards who we are in order to ascend up into Hyperborea, into a higher state where we will no longer struggle in a dense material world. Having made the necessary sacrifice of splitting ourselves into dualistic conditions and paid our debt for such great knowledge, we will soon be able to drink from this sacred well.
You're gonna get the best. I'm burning up. Why taking you